Hey everybody, Christina here from Crafty Stamp Co. with the 10th day of the 13 days of Halloween 2025. We're going to make a really cute little slimline card using the Hoppy Haunting little bunnies that we colored the other day. So this first little thing I colored was a little cutout for my silhouette, was a little moon. And now I'm going to use a piece of white paper. You can't really see it, it's there since I have the white behind it, to protect my pad underneath. But it's just, we're going to make a galaxy background. I'm using some seedless preserves right now. And now I'm going to blend in some squeezed lemonade. And I'm just blending it all the way through so to make it really kind of spooky. Because, well, cute spooky. I don't like icky spooky. So now we're just going to go ahead and grab some chipped sapphire, and I'm going to rub that all over the card, even a little bit over the other stuff, but I'm going to try to avoid it a little bit, but I do want to blend that in to get that nice dark galaxy kind of spooky kind of background. So I'm just going to blend all that in. And don't worry about the moon off to the side that I colored with squeezed lemonade at very first. We're going to be using that later. I'm just really trying to get all my distress ink stuff out of the way so that we can start assembling the card when we're all done. That way I don't have to go back and forth in between the ink and assembly kind of a thing. So now I've got some black soot, and I'm just going to go around the edges. I do get it a little too black, so if you're doing this right along with me, you might want to calm down a little bit on the black soot, but I will go back in with the chipped sapphire afterwards so that I can fix that. And this is sped up just a little bit on this video. So you don't have to go through the pain of how long it actually took me to blend all of this. But this is going to be a super cute card, and hopefully I will teach you a couple of new things, because I'm sure you guys remember, well, I'm not even exactly how many times I've done a galaxy background. I just love them. I love doing them. So it looks like I'm about done with this black. So I'm going to bring back in the chipped sapphire just so that I can bring some of that blue in so it doesn't look so black. Because I like my nights to be really dark and black, but not that dark. We still want it to be a little more galaxy for the little bunnies. Now, I would have kept it that dark and that black if I was using my movie monsters. Then I would have kept it just as dark. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to grab my seedless preserves again, just to bring on a little bit more of that purple ooky spookiness. And then a little bit more yellow because I kind of lost it. But that'll make it look kind of eerie clouds, getting that yellow in there. So now we're going to go ahead and get some water, and I'm just going to spritz that on there really fast. And I'm going to also spritz my little moon. I'm just taking my roll of paper towels and rolling it over the top. Tends to dry it a little, I don't know. To me, it's easier than wiping it, I suppose. Because I tend to wipe. If I just grab a paper towel, I just tend to wipe. I don't sit there and blot. I just wipe. So for me, that's easier. Now I'm going to use some Doc Martens white ink. And I'm going to use an old disposable toothbrush and my thumb. And I'm just going to make the stars on there. I'm just rubbing my thumb across the teeth of the toothbrush to get that in there. And now I'm going to grab my Brilliance white ink, and this is fun. I'm going to put my fence here just for placement because I, decide where I want my fence. So I'm kind of putting everything there so I can see where it's going to be for placement. And now I'm taking a cotton ball, and I learned this from a very wonderful friend, Kevin from Stampscapes. He is a fantastic artist. If you ever get to watch his videos, please do so. But I just took a cotton ball and used my Brilliance ink and went over it to create fog. And now I'm getting a little bit of that fog onto my fence. And the reason I'm using a cotton ball is because it does come out a bit differently than using your blending brush. You really get those like little poofs, and it's a little darker here and a little bit lighter there, and you just really get some more extra details. And I'm so happy he taught me to do that. So I'm going to just use my mono adhesive to put this on a little piece of paper. This is 6 3/4 by 3 3/4. And then I'm going to stick it on my card base. It is a little bit of a weird slimline size, mini slimline, but a little bit thicker so I could get everything on there. So now I have this little house. I'm going to poke out all of its little windows. And we need to put a little bit of the Brilliance on this as well. I'm just going to snip this off. It's not quite as nice as I would like it to be. We're going to put my fence there, get our placement so we know where everything needs to be. Back in there with the cotton ball again. Just making that fog. Can you tell I was watching Scooby-Doo when I made this card? Really got the Scooby-Doo vibes in there. So I also have these pieces that I cut out with my fence. And I'm just going to put some Brilliance on there. I don't want to completely cover it because I don't want it to be white. I want it to look like fog. So I'm making sure I can see the black behind still. Now for the grass. So the grass, I'm using some bundled sage. And don't worry, if I'm moving too quick, you can always rewind this because, I'm moving a little quick in this video. I really sped that up. But I'll have all the colors down below for you too. So I colored the whole thing in bundled sage. And now I'm doing just the top with some hickory smoke. And then I'm going to go ahead and grab the black soot back again and just do the very tips that way. Because, grass is not bright green at nighttime, especially not on Halloween, trick-or-treating. So we got to get that black night kind of look on the grass. So I'm going to go ahead and put the black soot away. I'm going to grab my squeezed lemonade and this little white house. It's exactly the same as the black one. Sorry about my hands. They started to fall asleep a little bit. But I'm going to go ahead and do just the top half of this with squeezed lemonade. And that's just so that we can glue the black house on top of the white house. And the rubbing you saw me do there was just the oxides, the distress oxides tend to have like a chalky feel to them. And so I was just wiping all of that off. So now I'm going to put some liquid glue on my black house and put my white one right on the back side and try and line that up the best that I can and glue those together. So it looks like the white is showing on the outside of the house a little bit, and I don't really want that to show. So I'm going to go ahead and trim a little bit of that off, just a bit. And then I'm going to go ahead and use my 100 marker, my Copic marker, to go ahead and get those white edges because we still want it to be kind of spooky. So I'm just going to get those edges really fast. And that is the easiest way I know to go ahead and do that. If you have a black Sharpie or something like that, something with a felt tip like that, it'll still work as well if you don't have the 100 marker. You could even take like one of your C's and go ahead and do that. So I'm taking a thin tipped Sharpie and I'm just outlining the windows on the inside, and then I'm putting some lines to look like window panes inside of the windows. So I thought it would just look a little bit more interesting, and I did zoom in a little bit there for you so you could see what I was doing. Now you can see the little panes of the windows. So I'm going to go ahead and start laying everything out and placing it where I want it to go. I tend to stage my cards before I actually put them all together and what I call nailing it all down. Because I want to make sure I have everything where I want it instead of putting it together and then going, oh, maybe I don't want to do that. So now I'm going to grab my white Brilliance ink again really fast because I've got a circle here that I'm going to put on the back side of my moon. That way it kind of looks like the moon is supposed to be whole, but it's not. A full moon, I mean. And we'll go ahead and put that yellow piece on there. And I'm just going to go ahead and glue those together. Can't see it. It's a little off camera. Sorry about that. But I am gluing those together. And then I will go ahead and use my mono adhesive to glue that down. So I've gone ahead and taken everything off the card. And I am just, you can't see it. I'm really sorry. I went off camera a little bit. I put, if you can see those thin strips of 3D foam, I put those on back of the posts for the fence that I did in white. And I'm just putting it on top of the fence so it has a little bit of dimension to it. And I'm also going to put it on the back side of the fence as well. I'm not taking the white tape, protective tape off just yet because I want to get everything placed first. And I'm going to go ahead and stick the fence down. You can see where I'm trying to get my placement for my house. And that way my fence isn't sticking to my house, and that will go down first. Now I can take the protective tape off and put the tape on, or put the fence on the card. Now we're going to have, I didn't do the bottom half of the fence because we're going to have grass down there. So I'm just gluing the grass down, and it's going to go all the way across the bottom half of the card. And it's okay if it overlaps a little bit, because if it does, then it just looks like a little bit of dimension, or you can cover it with an image. Because now I'm going to start putting on my little bunnies. And I've got some little bats that I've cut out here as well. You will notice that I use a lot of silhouette cuts. I had surgery on both of my shoulders so far for frozen shoulder. So my doctor said if I didn't want it again, I needed to stop with the die cuts because of all of the repetitive motion. So I'm sure you've got some dies or something that are similar to what I'm using. Or you can find everything that I've used on the Silhouette Design store. So I'm just putting all my bunnies on now, kind of placing them like they're going trick-or-treating to this spooky house. Kind of makes me think of Scooby-Doo. Really does make me think of Scooby-Doo. So some of them I'm gluing down. Oh, never mind. It looks like I'm gluing all of them down to keep the card down a bit. So now, after I've got all of those glued down, I'm going to go ahead and I need to get my sentiment. And you can see that I have everything kind of off to the right side of my card, and that's because I wanted my sentiment to be on the left side of the card, and I'm just cutting that out now. And the sentiment came from the stamp set, so you will have no problem using the same one if that's what you desire. And I'm just going to cut this really nice and close and make it into a little flag. And then I'm going to use my bone folder to go ahead and make it kind of swoopy. I'm bending it in place, getting it ready, and I'm going to glue that on there. And it says Hoppy Haunting. And now I'm going to get some little gems. I found them in the very back of my drawer. I haven't used these in forever. If you've been to our retreats or any of our events before, then you know that we put these in almost everything. I love little jewels. And don't forget that for the next 24 hours, Hoppy Haunting is on sale for 35% off. You can use the code Halloween13, so that's from today, October 27th, till tomorrow at 1 p.m. So you have 24 hours to grab this cute little setup. I will see you guys later. Bye now.